but I enjoy making the building look nice, because you know what happens is the tenants see that.
Absolutely.
And when they renew their lease, they go, you know what, maybe I can get something a little cheaper, but you know what, Ken's here quite often at this building, and I feel fairly secure, and whenever I've had a problem,
Yeah.
Ken answers it very, very fast. As Tom said, customer service. So this is the second building, and on this building here, when Tom gets out, he'll show you.
Yep.
I just put in a new asphalt that cost $34,000, and some of you might say, well, why would you want to spend $34,000 in a time right now economically when interest rates are high and maybe building values are going down? The reason is because one of the main tenants here is a dentist, and between the dentist and an esthetician, they're both on triple net leases, and they have to pay for 50% of this job. So $34,000 really cost me basically $17,000, and after taxes, probably $14,000. So I thought it was a good time in case the dentist whose lease expires next year, most likely they're not going anywhere, but in case they did, I would at least get that expense from them, because their lease doesn't expire until December of 2024.
Yeah, and on that note, the thing is your tenants may like, oh, I don't really want to, I don't like spending, but you're not raising their rent to put it in your pocket. You're raising their rent to make their area nicer.
Exactly.
And that's a little easier pill to swallow than simply saying, hey, rents are up, So it's very important that you demonstrate that you care about the property, care about, the way their property looks, and it's contagious. They'll take better care of the property too, by the way.
And also too, on this building here, this was purchased about 4 years ago. This was before I got into the mentorship. But what's good about this building is that it wasn't a deal or anything until I actually purchased it and raised the rents. I paid $1,150,000 for it, but all the rents were raised immediately, right around at least $1,500 the very first month I owned it.
Yeah.
So again, when we do the math, I just made about $250,000 on the first day that I bought it, which is a pretty good deal. And since then, because of all the rents that were raised and the value, I believe the value is probably close to $1.8 million. I'm just guessing that conservatively. The dentists who basically spent $100,000 on their dime to remodel their office, hopefully are the ones that are going to stay, because they take up 40% of the space. As you'll see, it's a nice building, and I don't think anybody is going anywhere as far as the tenants go.
Yeah, and on that note, so a lot of times you'll discover assets that they're undervalued, and it's not apparent. You could look at the cash flow and you go, well, this is just an average deal.
That's right.
But if the management in place has the property, they mismanaged
It was.
with
It
the
was
rents.
exactly
In other
what it
words, so they under rent it. They're renting it for a value less than it's worth, and there's an opportunity. So yeah, you can buy it, and and it may only be a 5 cap. And you're going, that's nothing great, or a 10 cap. I mean,
Right.
or whatever. But the bottom line is you'll find something that is undervalued because the rents are low, and then you look at the leases and you go, well, hey, these leases are coming up for renewal, and then you can adjust it very quickly. So you can take an asset that's just a mediocre deal and raise the rents, and you could double the value of the property. It happens.
And the interest rates at the time, 5 years or 4 years ago, I got this at a 4% interest rate. So that's fantastic. Considering right now it'd be probably 7 to 7.5%.
Oh yeah.
So that's another opportunity. Don't forget, if interest rates are low and stuff, take advantage of that alone. And of course, if you find a good deal and you make both of them happen at the same time, it's a win-win situation for sure.
All right, let's take a look.
It's the best thing I ever did.
Grass here in front, and by doing this, it cost about probably $20,000 to do everything. But in reality, for the landscaper and the water, I'm probably saving about $300 to $350 a month.
So he tore all the grass out of here and he xeriscaped it. And so now he's reduced the water bill, has become next to nothing probably. And also the maintenance is easy on this thing now. There is really just some weed pulling and spraying for weeds is about it, right?
And a little bit of landscaping, which I take care of.
Yeah. So Ken actually takes care of the landscape, and that's the thing. Here's also the beauty. Look, people think, oh, houses, and believe me, you can make money on anything and everything. But the beauty of having a building like this compared to a house of the same size, you're not responsible for painting the interior. When somebody moves in, you just give them a shell, and then they do what they want. You give them what we call a white box. It's just an empty, clean white box. They put the carpet in, they put the tile in if that's what they want. Those are called tenant improvements, but those are tenant improvements that they're responsible for. And this is a gorgeous property. And what was probably built in the 70s?
It was 1979.
79. So your older properties will have a little bit lower ceilings, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. If people are going in there to see a doctor or get their hair done, it's not a big deal.
Again, super busy street out here. Travis Main Street leads right to a freeway within a minute or two.
So he's got freeway access a minute away. And then take a look at this. Look at this street. You've got your center lane for turning right and left, and 2 lanes. You've got a bike lane. And this looks turf, huh?
It is. You can see, Tom, so I spent a little extra money, that $20,000 here, because I wanted it to be attractive when somebody drove by, in case they wanted to rent this any part of this area here. This is where you're going to pretty much, because it's the main street, this is what you're going to see first on the building. So I wanted to make it look nice.
Yeah, so he's got artificial turf here. But it makes the place pop. It looks like everything's growing great. And really, it's just plastic. And so what do you figure the life on this is?
I would say, I don't know, 20 years?
Yeah, so we may get 20 years out of this. And look at, the only weeds he's got to pull are at the seams. But yeah, this is really great. I've been looking at putting more. I saw Costco was actually putting artificial turf around their parking lots recently. And so look at, he just put in new paving. This is part of your pave job, right? So he's got new pavement here. He's got it marked so they know it's a one-way. Again, the xeriscape is beautiful. Super clean, no grass, no lawnmowers to disturb the tenants, to be quite honest. If there's a massage, if it's a spa or that sort of thing, and nobody wants to hear a lawnmower or a blower go. What a terrific property you have here. They got a real estate agent in here. Implantology, is that
This is the dentist. They just do surgeries and making some big bucks.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, one of the things you find out when you're a landlord, commercial, industrial, office, is you find out there's a lot of ways that people make money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to make money. Beautiful, they got everything striped. He's got his parking stops in place. He's got his hash marks here for the handicap.
Sit over here and just throw it in the trash.
He's gonna put on the gloves and grab this shirt. Presumably fell off a homeless person's bicycle or whatever. But see, this is what you do. You check on your properties, and look at that. He's got a little, I love it, that's great. I need those. So now you can pick up, there might be needles in that shirt, you're not gonna touch it. You can't help that a lot of the world is crumbling and becoming worse all the time. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. You can be pulled down by it, or good life is by design. And like what he's doing right now, he's collapsing the boxes.
I'm just actually taking these boxes, Tom. I'm going to bring them to the other building because it's usually a lot less than this is what.
Yeah.
And so I'm just giving them a little bit more room to dump their stuff.
So he's pulling the boxes here just because the dumpster's full, and this is a good landlord. He knows that somebody's going to be going out here to dump their trash, and they're going to be looking at a full dumpster. They're either going to take the trash back into their place, or worse, they're going to stick it to one side or the other of the dumpster, and then as soon as the truck comes and dumps it tomorrow, the trash is going to be all over the place. So he'll pick these up and throw them in the back of his trunk, and the next place we stop to, which he knows at the next place, the dumpsters are generally empty. And that will happen. And you can see he's got a lock here. This has become a necessity in general. I have mine locked as well on most of my buildings, not all, but most of mine. And the reason being is you'll pull up and you'll find a mattress stuffed into your dumpster. And then now they put cameras on the trash trucks. And so I'll get an email once in a while with a video attached showing stuff that's in the trash can that shouldn't be. And then they're giving me a $170 penalty for that as well. So you got to manage your properties, and you got to educate your tenancies so they know what you can and can't put in a dumpster. Unfortunately, like I say, if you don't have them locked, you'll have people that'll come and throw stuff in there. I have like Ring cameras mounted above my dumpsters. I was saying I have Ring cameras mounted above some of my dumpsters now.
Oh, do you?
So when you walk up, it says, "You are being recorded." And it just discourages that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is great, Ken. Just seeing you at work. Very cool. Beautiful building. Are there ACs sitting up inside of those parapets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's got ACs sitting up out of sight. Looking really great.
But I enjoy making the building look nice because you know what happens is the tenants see that, and when they renew their lease, they go, you know what, maybe I can get something a little cheaper. But you know what, Ken's here quite often at this building, and I feel fairly secure. And whenever I've had a problem,
Yeah.
Ken answers it very, very fast. As Tom said, customer service. Customer service. It's a business. I mean, real estate is like any other thing, and if you treat people the way you want to be treated, they're generally going to go back to you, even if the rent is a little more or the same or whatever it is,
Yeah,
because you treat them like they should be treated.
You treat them like a customer.
That's right.
Yeah, that tenant loyalty is really a rewarding thing as a landlord. When people they're just saying, hey, we need to renew next week, or we want to renew for another couple of years.
Right.
And they're not even approaching you like, hey, we need to bargain. We need, you know what I
No.
mean? They're just like, it's kind of a given. They know that you're going to be reasonable. They know you each value each other, and so you don't have to play any of those
Yeah.
games. It's like, yeah, hey, we got to renew. We're going to stay longer than we thought, or whatever the
Yeah.
case is. And like I say, he's got a tenant out of the dentist. I saw her pop out 2 or 3 times, like she's looking for somebody she's expecting to pull up.
Right.
But each time she comes out,
She
what does she
sees
see?
us. She sees us.
She sees Ken picking up trash, folding the boxes up, making sure there's room in that trash can. It goes a long way. You want to learn how to make millions of dollars in real estate? I've made tens of millions over my lifetime, and I'm showing people how to do it. Get in my free webinar. I have it every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Go to the link below, flipanythingusa.com/webinar. Sign up for it. You can talk to me face to face if you want. Don't waste any time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You don't want to miss my channel. I've been doing it for years.